Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Jess here, bringing you this week's goods and bads in the pro wrestling world. Of course, this week we had two pay-per-views come up. We had the AEW's Revolution and we had the Super Showdown from WWE. So, you know, the start of the week we had the build-up for that, and then obviously the end of the week, couple of things changed. So starting with Monday Night Raw, at the moment we are seeing the path of destruction from Randy Orton taking out Matt Hardy, taking out Edge, and this week we saw a great segment between him and Kevin Owens. What two better people to have a feud with at the moment? So Kevin Owens and Randy Orton are two of the best on the mic, so this was great to watch, and I'm really enjoying what Randy Orton is currently doing at the moment. And then later that night as well, we also had a match between the both of them, which quite frankly I love them both, so I was very impressed with it. Moving on, after this as well, we had another good point on Raw this week, and we watched a great interview of Drew McIntyre, who personally I feel is stronger than ever at the moment after winning the Royal Rumble. And Charlie is great when it comes to interviews as well, and she needs to do more stuff like that more often. Being on the road to WrestleMania, you know, I really enjoyed watching this, and, you know, listening to Drew. He is absolutely killing it at the minute, and I am looking forward to him continuing his career in WWE and hopefully winning the title at WrestleMania away from Brock Lesnar. So, same as last week, I have another kind of segment that I have mixed opinions on. You know, last week we had the whole Seth situation, and this week, unfortunately, yeah, I have something else. I'm not too keen on it. We saw the Elimination Chamber contract signing, so we had all the ladies come out and ready to sign for the chamber, and of course, well, we say all the ladies apart from Shayna Baszler, who is actually the favourite to win this match. Of course, Shayna got her own entrance, she got her own, you know, nobody was going to sign the contract until Shayna Baszler was there. Eventually she turned up, but obviously it took a little bit of time. All she wanted to do, she wanted to wind the ladies up. Completely understandable. Do not blame her at all. And it just went into absolute chaos in the ring, and not really sure what they were trying to do. I just have a lot of mixed opinions on this. I think at the same time we kind of know who's going to win the Elimination Chamber match, so this whole thing they've got going on isn't really working for me, and it's kind of unfair on the other ladies, but we shall see. At least, you know what, I can't moan, because at least the ladies are getting the chance to be in the ring, and who knows what could happen. A lot of feuds between a few of the ladies as well, Ruby Riott and your Liv Morgan as well, so we shall see what happens. But yeah, mixed opinions on that, and I'm not really sure where they're going. So, moving on to NXT, this week I actually struggled a little bit to watch it. I was only really tuning in for one actual match, if I'm completely honest, and you guys probably know what that is for me. Of course, a couple of good points here and there. Starting with Finn getting a message from the NXT UK champion Walter. Well, from Imperium really, because he wasn't there. You know, Finn wants a shot at the NXT UK title, and someone is not wanting that to happen. Completely understandable. This is one feud and one match that I would really want to see. You know, the bigger guy against the smaller guy again. These two are both really good. So, you know, Imperium making themselves known to Finn on this week's episode. Yeah, it was. I enjoyed it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens between them as well. Moving on to probably the reason I actually watched this week, and that is the Queen against Bianca Belair. We saw the Queen come back to NXT, and, you know, just do a bit. Bianca personally put on a really good match against Charlotte, and, you know, I'm really impressed with how it's working at the moment. Obviously we've got Rhea and Charlotte at WrestleMania, but you know, Bianca did deserve a chance, especially after the incredible Royal Rumble performance that she put on. So yeah, do you know what? Really good match between these two this week. Bianca is showing she is a star, and I cannot wait for her to get on that main roster because she's got so much potential, and going against probably the, you know, the best female in the business, there is a lot of potential with her going forward. So yeah, overall I really enjoyed this match. One bad thing about NXT this week, and it's actually one of the ladies' matches, we saw Xia Li and Mia Yim. It was just a flop, personally. You could tell, you know, both competitors weren't really involved like they should have been in the match. It wasn't going anywhere. It just kind of felt very basic and very hit and miss, if I'm completely honest, and I didn't actually enjoy it. It annoys me because these two are so good, so good, and you know, Xia Li doesn't get the opportunities that she actually does deserve because she is incredible. So I'm hoping for something a little bit different, but we shall see. Moving on to AEW. So we saw, you know, AEW's pay-per-view at the weekend, which is Revolution, and we saw the weigh-in between Jericho and Moxley. I love the segment because I'm a huge fan of both of these two, and you know, I've been looking forward to this match, and I love both of the characters as well. And of course, this week we saw the Inner Circle play a massive part in the segment, and you know, even on the actual pay-per-view card, like, they are dominating the card, and they're really making their presence known on AEW at the minute. So yeah, I really enjoyed this segment, and it's just it's crazy at the minute, and both of these guys just know how to put on a performance. Do you know what? Also, we actually saw a really good match between the Jurassic Express and the Inner Circle. So both teams have some incredible people, incredible competitors on their team, and you know, the tag teams are so strong in AEW, and on the roster, a lot of the time it dominates the rest of the roster, which is amazing in my eyes because tag teams deserve so much. And you know, this match really showed how good these tag teams really are. I'm always impressed with the Jurassic Express, and recently Sammy has really stepped it up in my eyes, and he's proved how good he is in the ring. The character, not really keen on, not the biggest fan of himself, but his in-ring abilities are absolutely brilliant. And moving on to SmackDown. So the night before we saw the Saudi Arabia show, the Super Showdown. I can't even go into that because it was just not worth it. WWE needed to save themselves in some kind of way. SmackDown obviously it was interesting. It was going to be interesting after that, and we just didn't know where it was going to go. Kind of at the point where it's kind of, at the minute on SmackDown, it's kind of at the point where things are building up to something, but we're not sure what. So with the likes of Drew Gulak and Daniel Bryan, is there going to be a feud? Is there not going to be a feud? This is something that I could really get behind if there is. So we are just waiting for it to blow up. Obviously, there's a few points on SmackDown that were really good for me. Starting with my favourite person returned, and that's John Cena. He returned in the ring, did his part. How he probably wasn't going to be at WrestleMania. On the way out, he was confronted by The Fiend, and now we have a Fiend versus John Cena WrestleMania match, which not sure how it's going to go. It could be a complete squash, or we could actually see something decent, which I really hope it's going to be something decent. I'm just happy because John Cena is there. I'm quite biased in this situation because if you know me, you know how much I love John Cena. So yeah, looking forward to this. I watched SmackDown especially for that. So we shall see what happens with these two, as they're both absolutely incredible. And yeah, the Fiend at the minute deserves a lot more than he's getting. But we did actually see, we actually saw a really good match between Robert Roode and Kofi Kingston. So Roode at the minute, I feel like he's kind of he's he's being like used for the wrong reasons. He's being used, which is great, but he is not being used like he should, because he is really, really good in the ring. And, you know, recently he's been kind of with Ziggler, and to me, I don't feel like that's working. People might think different, who knows. So Kofi Kingston and Rude in a match together, they are both really good. Kofi Kingston I love, as you know. So it was actually a really, really good match between these two, and it just showed that they still have got something. And yeah, so I was very impressed with the match with these two guys, and hopefully Rude does his own thing soon and kind of gets rid of Ziggler, which sounds quite bad. But of course, there's going to be a bad about SmackDown. There has to be, because that's just how WWE works. If you watch Super Showdown, you'll know why I feel like this. The Fiend losing to Goldberg was just stupid. Absolutely. There are some big Goldberg fans out there. I am not the biggest fan, personally. He should have retired completely a long time ago, in my eyes. But yeah, it happened. So he came out with his Universal Championship. He wanted to know who was next. And of course, who stepped up? Roman Reigns. So basically, WrestleMania, we're going to have Spear versus Spear. Not impressed. Wasn't impressed with this on SmackDown, because I'm not looking for, this is something I'm really not looking forward to at WrestleMania, and I'm not looking forward to Goldberg or Bagsy. Goldberg still continuing to be the champion, and yeah, it's just not great. But see, this, obviously usually the end of my videos I tell you the best show of the week. This is hard for me this week, I feel. You know, AEW, I think with me, had 2 weeks in a row where they were the best. I'm gonna go with maybe SmackDown, just because of Cena, and the matches they did actually put on were not too bad. Apart from the obvious downside, I would say SmackDown was the best this week. Can AEW come back and take next week's prize again? Who knows, especially after the pay-per-view. But that is it for today's video. I've spoken a lot. Make sure you check out my socials. Watches Jess on Twitter and Jess Watches Wrestling on YouTube. And of course, make sure you like and subscribe to Pro Wrestling Unlimited to see more of this each week. And I shall see you very soon.